finally got our offensive coordinator, Nick Caley. I think that's his name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's how I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways. It doesn't matter. They know who we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll figure it out by the time season starts. Get the guy that you said you wanted.
Of the guys that were all rumored, he was kind of up there for me. Like it just felt right.
Yeah.
Uh, like I don't know, I had a good feeling about it. I'm glad we got him. But also, like it feels like to me, you know what this feels like? Like this is Slowick's choice, meaning like he gave D'Amico his choice with Slowick, and it didn't
Oh, you
work.
mean Nick?
And that Nick, and then
Yeah.
now Casario's like, okay, this is my choice.
Yeah.
That's how it feels to me. Not to say that's a bad thing. Like he's trying to like
Overstep him
big,
in a way.
oh yeah, like
Yeah.
big brother him or anything like that. But like it feels like Casario got his guy.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of reports about coming out right after he signed, and they were talking about how CJ loved whenever Sean McAvee or Sean McVay. What the fuck? I just saw Pat McAfee on TV. Sean McVay and him were doing the joint practice, and he was talking about how his offense, he loved his offense, and there were certain things that he really wanted to add and all that. So seeing the guy that you got coming from McVay's system, being a guy that McVay holds highly of, a lot of people have been high on him. It kind of is another thing where it's like, okay, this is a guy where CJ probably will get along with and everything.
Well, that's the thing. Most important thing to me, it was like what is the most important thing to me? It's how you handle CJ and what you do for him going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's your franchise QB, and it's kind of funny to me that he says that CJ, meaning CJ, he's like my favorite quarterback to watch is Matt Stafford. So now you get a guy who's been in the trenches with Stafford, and it's like okay, now maybe those two are gonna think alike, meaning
Yeah.
CJ and Callie. You know what I mean? So that's pretty encouraging to me,
Yeah.
and it's also gives you hope because when, like we said, when we fired Slowick, bro, it was like I didn't necessarily want to fire you because you didn't. I would say that you didn't get a fair shake, but also like there's no way we could go into next season with any sort of hope, knowing that it's still y'all two, and with Kelly coming in, Kaylee, whatever his name is, it gives you hope. It's like, all right, now what's CJ gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. It gave a lot of Texans fans kind of like, ooh, okay, something new. I mean, there was a few players, a lot of the tight ends were tweeting out like, oh, like Brevin Jordan was like, hold up, because we know he used to work with tight ends. He gets a lot of rep for knowing how to use tight ends. So they're happy. But when you see players happy that the change is somebody they wanted, I know there was a lot of fans that said, oh, I wanted Chip Kelly. I wanted this guy or this guy. We're being honest. If the Texans wanted Chip Kelly, they would have got Chip Kelly. The Raiders over Houston, no. And a lot of the guys that they were going after, I mean, a lot of people are wondering like who is Nick Caley and stuff, but he was sought out from the Jets and other teams to be their offensive coordinator, which are teams that have some weapons. So for him to pick us to pick him, it just feels right. And it kind of gets to me to now it's like, okay, now that we have that, you can start figuring out the rest of this coaching staff for yourself.
I think CJ is what like he's CJ will make anybody choose us over those other guys. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
CJ's that elite of a talent, and I think Callie recognized that, and he wants to do something with it.
Yeah.
Like I really do. Like there's a strong possibility that we can't look towards the past as far as like how we should expect a player to play. Because I have a sneaky suspicion that Callie's not going to be like Slowick in the sense where he's trying to set up a big play all the time, and you get those 70-yard Nico Collins passes. But I do believe that we are not going to run into the problem where we're not moving the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we're 3 and out in 3 possessions in a row. I feel like he's going to maximize talent, especially the tight ends we have, like you said, and he's going to learn how to consistently move the ball, get first downs, more field goal opportunities, preferably touchdowns. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a more efficient style of play under Callie than it was with Slowick.
Yeah, there was. I mean, looking at the numbers, man. I mean, I get it. He wasn't full offensive coordinator of that team, but he did have points where they said he was doing play calls for McVay and he was adding in stuff. So it's like you see why teams were like, "Oh, I want this guy," and
But
everything.
it's not even that. It's like you said, for that's one reason. Like he was coaching in New England as a
Yeah,
tight end coach in 2017, bro. So
yeah,
you're talking about a time when they didn't really have an offensive coordinator. That's when they were running rough shot and they had like stupid shit going on over there. And it's like you were still part of that and y'all were winning Super Bowls at the time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You have 2 Super Bowls. So like you obviously were in the mix. You had to have picked up something good.
yeah, yeah. There's, I mean, I'm happy with the pick. He was one of the top guys, and now that you have him, it goes now into his coaching staff.
Another thing that makes me excited, one more thing, and I'm gonna say it before somebody steals my shit, is when the dude was coaching in college, he was actually a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
So the dude has a very like player mindset where he can look at it in so many different ways. And I'm gonna say that somehow or another he's gonna maximize that to making our O line better. Like his protection is gonna just be better.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna see beyond the fucking shit in front of him, like Slowick, and it's gonna be so like intricate of the details that he implements.
yeah,
So I'm excited, bro. I'm good, and plus he kept Chip Kelly off the team. So
yes. Nah, I'm excited for it. I mean, when we got him, I was like, oh, thankfully, thank you. It was a guy that we wanted. Um, he was sought out for and everything. And now it feels like, okay, with him, D'Amico, and Nick, you can kind of start being like, okay, what do we need to add? What do we
So
need
it's
to
funny you
do?
say that. You know what the first thing I thought of when you texted me earlier that we hired him? I was like, okay, like I don't want to harp too much on like, oh, we're gonna be like the Rams, yada yada yada. But then I was thinking about it, and I was saying I want to play like them. But if you look at the kind of running backs that team has, the Blake Corum, British Brooks, to a lesser degree, we have the same on the practice squad, like the British Brooks and the JJ, what's his name? Like we have those little guys, and I was like, I'm telling you, he might see some shit that we don't, and he's like, oh, I know what to do over here. I know what to do.
Yeah, it it's exciting. I can't wait to finally hear what CJ says. I know he's gonna probably wait until closer to season time and all that stuff. But as you start hearing players come out and everything, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, all right, this is kind of a breath of fresh air from what, like you said, we couldn't go back with Slowick. Not that you did anything too wrong to where it's like, oh, I had to fire you, but it was just like that hope and where it's like, damn, like we're going back with this, like
Yeah, there's just no
nothing's changed.
optimism there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And now, I mean, of course, with him, you get all the linked players and everything else because, as we know, this offense is going to have to, I don't want to say be revamped, but it's going to have to add some stuff, get rid of some stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of cool with like you obviously look at receiver form, O line, but like the rest of their positions, like
Pretty much.
tight ends, you say you're the tight end whisperer, figure it the fuck out. Maybe
Yeah.
get Mixon some help with another running back or something. I think he's just as excited about this team as we are to have him. To be honest with you, I really feel that way. Like, how could you not when you play that kind of wide open, not wide open system, but like very loosey goosey kind of shit that Matt Stafford likes to do. And if you have CJ playing that way, who's got an arm just as talented as Stafford, I like it.
No, I agree. I mean, the course, the number one position that we're going to be hearing all off season is wide receiver. Tank Dell was pretty much out the whole season. You have
Um,
Stefon Diggs that you can go and get. Cooper Cup is now being linked to us because one, the connection in LA, but two, he's on the trade block. Um, you always said check up on Tyreek Hill, see what it would take to
bro,
get him.
bro, think about it. Just be the bad guy, bite the bullet, and be like Diggs. I can't fucks with you right now. Like I don't have time to wonder.
Yeah,
Right? Take a swing on a receiver for a year or two, regardless of how much they make, and see if that could help CJ. Is
yeah,
it's not preposterous to me to think that you could get a Cooper Kupp or a Tyreek Hill
Yeah.
or Garrett Wilson.
I would if I'm the Texans right now, I'm calling up the Jets. I mean, like, what is it going to take to get Garrett Wilson? And if it's just ridiculous or it's something that I'm calling the Rams at the same time. But like, what's it going to take to get Cooper Kupp? I think he has 2 years left, but his contract's so massive that they'd have to restructure. Which I leave that in Nick's hands. I know him and LA.
Both of those teams, I'm looking at them and like, look, I'm willing to part ways with some of these offensive linemen, and y'all both need them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I'll give you Titus Howard and give me your second. I'll give you my first.
yeah,
Like that kind of shit for Cooper Kupp. You know what I mean?
because we're
Like,
in a. I mean,
yeah,
we're
you're in a win now. You have the CJ window open while you're not paying him.
yeah.
Go for it, especially when your defense is firing off like that.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of like defense. I mean, if you want to add something, I'm never going to question Nick adding stuff on defense ever. But for offense, for sure, the wide receiver is probably the biggest thing. And I get everybody has us drafting a receiver, but if you can go get him a veteran wide receiver to add in with Nico Collins and him, it's like, dog, that's give him all the weapons he can have out there. Like,
Bro, when you play Call of Duty, you want the best weapons you could get, right?
yep.
Well, come on with it.
And that's where I'm like, nah, I need another receiver, star receiver. It's only going to make him better. It's only going to help him out. It's only going to help our offensive coordinator out.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all for it. Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson.
I give this hire A minus because I don't know how good you're going to do. But I'm glad you didn't wait. You hired before everybody else got a chance to get a pick, and you give him plenty of time to get his shit ready for the offseason. So I give it A minus grade to Casario.
Yeah, I'll agree with yours. I mean, from everything I've read of other people, past players, coaches, and all that, they're all like, hey, this is a great guy, but also like he knows football. Like this dude is like legit. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like that people are actually like saying, because I mean, you could be like, oh, that's a swell guy right there. And it's like, yeah, but okay, but the fact that they're like, no, he knows football, he knows what he's doing, he's professional.
That means more like you could come up to me and say, hey, this dude knows football, but he's a piece of shit. And I'm going to be like, is he going to show up to work? Because that's all that matters. Do
Yeah.
you show up to do your job?
Every time I hear just the good stuff, I'm like, this is Rick Smith. Like he's such a good guy. He could date my daughter. Like, yeah, I don't care about all that, dog. Like, you know how those players turned out.
Yeah, bums. I tell you, bums.
Yeah. But Texans, you did good. We like it. Enjoy y'all's off season. I'm glad, CJ, that you said I don't want to participate in the Pro Bowl. I want to just focus on my stuff. That is what we wanted to see. I don't want to see all these podcasts and enjoy yourself still. Have some fun and all that stuff.
No, don't enjoy yourself. You need to go fucking Rocky Balboa this shit out. Don't be seen. Don't be heard. Go get your mental together. You know what I'm saying? Like the city supports you. Whatever you need, just holler. We got you. But like, don't go hang around nobody from Dallas. Don't go to Tokyo. Like, don't do none of that shit.
Oh man! All right, any last minute words there?
Nope. And I hope y'all are right about the Cooper Kupp rumors because I think he'd be an amazing pairing with Nico Collins. It would almost look just like Puka and Cooper, but whatever.
If you added him, that would be amazing. That would be right there.
But I do know, regardless of who we get as another receiver, which I do strongly believe we are, I expect a very, very, very improved season from Dalton Schultz playing for this because you cannot play worse than what you did last year.
Facts. Well, at least we're on the same boat. We don't have to draft a tight end because you were already saying that we suck at that. So maybe he can save what we've drafted and signed and go for it.
I mean, I guess he made Kobe Parkinson look good, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll find out. Texans fans, let us know in the comments how you feel. Check us out on all our socials. Other than that, it's all love. We out. Later.